Here's the truth. If you're not creating content in 2025, you're simply going to be invisible. And let's be brutally honest, friend, if no one knows who you are, how do you suppose that you're going to get the next gig? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 reasons why every post-production sound professional should be creating content in 2025. Hey friend, welcome back to Mastering Post-Production Sound. My name is Joel Di Catalan. I am an Emmy-nominated sound re-recording mixer, and I've been part of the post-production sound industry for 17 years. This past year, I've been sharing videos here on YouTube designed to empower you to navigate, believe, and thrive in the post-production sound industry. And now, if that sounds like that's your jam, friend, we are happy to have you. So today we're going to dive into the 5 reasons I believe every post-production sound professional should be creating content going into 2025. I've worked with a lot of people this last year, either in a one-on-one coaching setting or group setting, who are struggling to find new leads in their freelance sound business. And it often always goes down to one question: how do you expect to get hired if nobody knows who you are? Look, friend, I get it. I know that the last thing we want to be thinking about after we're spending hours sound designing, cutting dialogue, cutting backgrounds at the console mixing is content creation. But the thing is, it's not just about posting videos or getting likes or chasing subscriber counts. Really, the truth is that in 2025, I believe there's going to be a huge emphasis on building personal brands. And I hate that word, personal brands, because it just feels like it's like the buzzword of 2024, right? But the truth remains that if you're not putting yourself out there, that honestly, you're going to get left behind. And today I want to talk about how content creation, putting your work out there, can really give you the opportunity to transform your career in this industry. So let's dive in. So the first reason is very simple. Your personal brand is everything. And I want you to think about it for a second. When somebody Googles you, right, what do they find? Have you ever done that? Have you ever Googled yourself? As a matter of fact, we're going to do this right now, okay? And this is I read this in a book. I read this in, what book was it? I think it was Linchpin. By Seth Godin. We're going to Google ourselves, okay? And let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I properly do this. Okay, so if you've never done this, I want you to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now for myself, right? I'm going to go Joel Di Catalan. There we go. Okay, and look at this. You have my name. What do you see here? Images. You see my mug. You see Mastering Post-Production Sound. You see LinkedIn, MPSC, CAS. There's my IMDb, my biography. Joel Di Catalan, CAS, is an Emmy-nominated sound recording mixer with over a decade of experience in the TV and film industry, and goes on and on. What else we have? LinkedIn, Mastering Post-Production Sound. There's TikTok. There's X. There's Joel on LinkedIn. There's some more videos. Do you see this right here? Do you see what just came up, right? That's important. So I want you to think about it. When somebody Googles your name, right? Let's say you're up for a gig. What are they going to find? See, the thing is, we have the power to choose what other people read about us, what the internet says about us. If you just did that Google experiment and you Googled yourself and you didn't like what came up here, then friend, that is the number one reason why you need to build your personal brand. You get to tell Google about yourself, and you start that by creating content. All that stuff you saw right now when I Googled myself was because I created that stuff. I created Mastering Post-Production Sound. I went out there and I'm active in LinkedIn. I started sharing stuff. So what happens is now you're telling Google, the internet, you're giving it information to supply to other people because you decided to start creating content. And one of the biggest benefactors of creating content these days is that you get to be in charge of the narrative about you online. So without that brand, right, what ends up happening is you're just a long list of potential people when freelancers are looking, rather when clients are looking to hire freelancers. So if you want to take charge of what comes up when you Google your name, you must put an emphasis on building your personal brand, and creating content is an excellent way to help shape the narrative because trust me, friend, when you start sharing, you become an authority, right? People start looking at you as like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about in this industry. And this is applicable to any industry. So the first reason is putting an emphasis on building your personal brand. So give that a shot. Number 2, creating content flips the script on lead generation. So instead of chasing clients, right, and trying to get them to come to you, by putting content out, what happens is now you open yourself up to the opportunity of those who might have a project and are looking to crew up to come to you. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of redesign stuff on LinkedIn, and I remember specifically watching a redesign and being absolutely floored. This person's redesign was spot on, and it was almost like one of those like, hey, if you're doing redesigns, you should be posting like this because this is a classic example. Like, I would put that person up for a gig because it was awesome. So that person would never have been on my radar if I didn't have the opportunity to look at something. So you need to understand the importance of putting content out there because it might be a producer, it might be a director. You have no idea whose eyes and ears could potentially be focusing on your work. And friend, I'm telling you, in a day and age where everything's on the phone, we're scrolling constantly, the opportunity to put something out there that will grab the attention of a potential client or a filmmaker is gold, friend. It's absolute gold. So here's the third option. Content creation lets you educate and empower others. So when we share our process, right, when we share our insights, we share even some of the mistakes. I mean, I've shared mistakes and things that I've learned navigating this industry here, right? What happens is you're not only helping other people, you're also inspiring them and you're positioning yourself to be a leader, really, in the industry. And all of this because you decided to start creating content. Leadership equals credibility in this industry. So you might even inspire the next generation of sound professionals. So I think that's an awesome plus side. So definitely want to understand that by sharing content this next year, you have the ability to educate and to empower others. Well, fourth, this is a big one. Content keeps you ahead of the competition. And let's face it, in the sound industry, and those of us who are navigating the industry, we all know this, there are a lot of talented people. But one of the ways that we actually differentiate ourselves from other people could be by sharing our content online. And there's not many people who might have the courage to share online, but I'm telling you, if you share your works, you share your ideas, your voice, you're already putting yourself ahead of other people. Because friend, there are a lot of people who want to be in this industry. And there are a lot of people who will go unnoticed because they're not making themselves noticeable. So by sharing content in 2025, you stand out. And instead of being lost in kind of the shuffle of people, go back to what we talked about earlier about Googling your name. I remember being at the CAS award dinner, the Cinema Audio Society Awards. And I'm telling you, just by sharing, people were like, I've seen your video. I've seen your video. I know what you're talking. I love what you're doing. And that kind of stuff makes you noticeable. So if you are navigating the industry and you're especially early on in your career, you definitely want to consider staying ahead of the competition by creating content because it's gonna get you noticed. Plus, just to add to that really quickly, that clients are more likely to remember you if you show up on their feed. So create that content. And finally, the fifth reason why every post-production sound professional should be creating content in 2025 is it's free. It's free. Platforms like YouTube, like what you're watching right now, Instagram, LinkedIn, right? Threads, X, like all this stuff is free. You don't have to pay. It's free advertisement. There are companies who spend so much money throughout the year to get your attention. And all you got to do is gain the courage to just post. And it could be a little behind the scenes thing. Maybe it's like a tip about dialogue editing, a tip about mixing, something you learn, right? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you show up, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just be you. Be uniquely you. There is only one you. And friend, it doesn't cost you a dime to put that stuff out there. So there you have it, friend. 5 solid reasons why post-production sound professionals need to be creating content in 2025. If you're feeling stuck, like your career isn't moving forward, friend, this is your sign to start. Just start small, and you can start today. And if you want more tips on how to build your personal brand, your business brand, how to thrive in the industry and navigate the wild industry, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you do not miss any future videos. I'm really excited about 2025 for you, friend, and your journey creating content. I'll see you in one of these other videos over here or in next week's episode.